Hello everyone, it's Milkbox, and I'm going to bring you a first impressions guide on Splatoon. I don't have any footage of the game simply because I don't have any way of capturing it, so I'll just, chuck this shit instead. Um, the game is a third-person shooter, which is basically about you trying to spread more ink across the map than your opponents. You can get killed by opponents quite quickly, in fact. And if you do die, you explode into a ward of the enemy's ink. So, don't die. One of the key features of the game is that there's 4 weapon classes, and these weapon classes also have, like, more than just that. They can expand into bigger or smaller versions, they can deal more damage, less damage, it's, But in the beta that I played, you only get 4 classes, and that's the main ones. You get the Split Roller, I think it's called, which is like a giant paint roller that goes across the map and completely obliterates everything ever. It's the most overpowered thing I've ever seen. You get the it's like a machine gun. I forget the name. That's pretty good. You can use that to shoot people. Yeah, and spread ink. You got like a shotgun form of it, I think, and I think he's got the Splatoon Split Shooter Junior or something. And then the final weapon is a sniper rifle, which is charged up at shots and can kill enemies instantly. Now, the 4 guns that I've seen, I was thinking, which one of these will be the weakest, which will be the most rated. I think the shotgun one was the weakest. I don't see many people using that, and compared to what the other weapons can do, it didn't seem that it was the go-to weapon. The weapon I saw more frequently was the Split Roller, simply because you can just destroy everything with it. It covers so much of the map quickly. It can kill people instantly upon contact. It's really an amazing weapon. Just, if you see someone with it, kill them. Sniper rifle, you charge it up and you kill somebody. Instant kill with one shot. But the thing is about them is that each weapon seems to have its own, like, rules. So, like, for example, for the roller, the idea of the roller is to just cover the map in ink. It's not really designed for combat, I don't believe. Like, even though you can kill people instantly, you shouldn't actively seek out people with it. So, I found myself just being more passive and sneaking around and spraying the map with ink. And if somebody did see me, then I would, try and take them down, or if I was behind them, I would run them over. It was good. And the one thing is you can hide in ink, and when they come up, you can jump up and hit the brush down, and you'll kill everybody pretty much. It's really effective. But the aesthetics of the game were brilliant. I couldn't say that I've seen better with them anyway. Like, the idea, you could shoot ink up onto a wall, for example, and it would run down the wall. And you could also use this to your advantage. You could go into squid form, which is a way of moving faster, and go through the ink and then up the wall to reach a higher vantage point, which was one of the weaknesses of the Split Roller, because it doesn't really have the means to climb higher. It's just ground-based weapon, so it's one of its weaknesses. But like I said, all weapons seem to have their own set of, like, these rules, really. So, like I said, Split Roller is designed mostly just for you to fill the map full of ink. It's not designed for combat, once the other weapons are a mixture. The shotgun and the machine gun thing, they are mostly a combination of the two. But the sniper rifle, I found, is mostly used for sole elimination of other people. Because when you kill them, they explode into a box. Well, they explode into ink, so it covers quite a bit of the map. But I couldn't imagine somebody wanting to spray ink all over the map with the sniper. It just didn't seem like it was the right thing to do. It just seemed if you have to take out people with it, that's the only thing you can really do. One thing it can do is that because it shoots in a good distance, you can spray a good layer of ink in a straightforward path and use it to move quickly forward using your ink form, using your squid form, which is pretty cool. But at the start of the game, for the hour that I played, I found that a lot of people were using quite varied weapons. People were, we were going to matches and there'd be a mixture of all the weapons, which was cool. But as the time went on, everybody was using the roller. I think that once the roller is good, and it does have its weaknesses, I do believe that it's a little overpowered. One cool feature of the roller, now that I'm on it, the topic, was that if you can imagine a game like Halo, when you encounter an enemy, if you strike the same time as they strike with a sword, you both collide off each other. Now, with the roller, there's none of this, like, you have to strike first. As long as if you run into each other with the roller, that's it, you'll both die. So there is severe drawbacks to it. You have to be so careful. The map selection, there was like, I played like 3 maps. They all seemed very different. Some of them were very confined, some of them were very open. And there was multiple paths to get around the map, like where one enemy may have set up a large fortification, and I couldn't access that area, which was, you know, there's only like 2 routes in, and they had a lot of ink there, and there was always a way around for me or some other person, or you could move really quick and get behind them and they wouldn't know it. So the map seemed really well built. The game is quick paced. You will find a person to fight within, like, let's say 5 seconds if that's your thing, or you can just jump into the fray by using the Wii U touchpad and jump to your friend's location on the map, which is always cool to jump into a gunfight, and you know, the tension that you feel. None of the deaths I've had felt cheap. It always felt like it was my own fault. I could have prevented them, and I wasn't. And there's no kill to death ratio, so you don't really feel as if you're being like terrible. Like I said, it's just about spraying the map with ink, and you know, everybody would pretty much, you know, even out their jobs with me. Like I said, I was passive. I wasn't really attacking. And if somebody was to attack me, somebody would help me and counter them. There is some items in the game, special weapons, where I think it works on if you fill the map with a lot of ink, it builds up and then you can use this weapon. For me, since I use the roller a lot, and I use the sniper and all the other things like once or twice, I had the killer whale, which is like a shield, and it prevents gunfire, I think, or it prevents people from passing, so I put it just down in like areas where people couldn't really go through, and it seemed to work. I'm not so sure if the other classes have the same weapon, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I saw like a tornado once, which is another special weapon I saw in one of the earlier footages, so maybe it's, you know, for the beta it was depend on what class you are. One thing that worries me is, like I said, the roller is overpowered. It's just generally the most powerful thing in the game, and I'm worried that this will become one of the standards and people will not use other weapons. I hope it doesn't become like Battlefield and all these other games become, where people will use the medic class more for their own selfish gain or something. I don't want that. I want a varied, balanced thing, and all the guns seem balanced enough to counter each other and be countered themselves by something that you wouldn't think could counter them, like a sniper versus a roller. I'm hoping that the game doesn't. I'm hoping that people don't use too much of the same class. One of the really cool features of the game is as a mini game when you're waiting for a match. Oh, that was loud. The matches were lasting about 2 minutes, but to find a match it was quick and there was no errors. There was no lag from what I encountered. Find a match was quick, easy. It took a few seconds. But you have these mini games you can play, and basically these mini games, the one I had, you had a little squid and you had to make him jump up a platform. And the cool thing about this was that as you're playing and you're waiting for a match, if the match suddenly starts, when you come back and you're waiting for another match, you continue off where you left off. So, you know, if you was about to finish a mini game, you continue off from there. So like, I'm assuming these mini games actually have a lot of levels. So that's, you know, that's rad, I think, you know, giving the player another excuse me, another thing to do when they wait. There was some beta. There was some of the developers were playing the game. They was in lab coats. Unfortunately, I didn't see any, but I was watching their stream, and I was able to gather quite a lot of information on how to use the classes effectively. Like, for example, they would use the sniper rifle in a way that I wouldn't have thought of for a while, whereas they use the sniper rifle to shoot long puddles across the ground and then use that to move around quickly. And that's how you regenerate your ink, by the way. If you have a little tank on your back, which most people don't really seem to notice for a while, and when you run out of ink, you have to dive into your own ink to replenish it. But if you were an enemy ink, you're pretty much a stood target, so you're gonna die. I can't really think of too many issues with the game because it was just brilliant. It was just fun. It didn't take itself too seriously. There was a scoreboard at the end that shows off like a point system, which the points can then be used to buy clothes and stuff like that when the game releases. But I'm pretty sure the data don't carry over. But it's a good little taster. I don't think you could play it with friends at the moment. I think you just had to go in and that was it. Which was unfortunate, really, because I've liked to have played it with my friend. But out of all the matches that I played, I won about 95% of them. I only lost one. And the thing is, these matches wasn't like all in my favor. They were really, really close. Yeah, like I said, you can see the map on the bottom corner of all the ink being sprayed across it, the two colors. And during the final moments, you will look down at it and you will pretty much be able to think who the winner will be. You'll be like, there's no way that they can come back from that. But you'd be surprised how much all the little splodges of ink around the map will make up for a team. There was one match that I won with 0.1%. So the map isn't really that reliable for the end of the game. Just make sure that you spray as much ink as possible, because if you're going to look at the opponents and think, they haven't got enough ink, you might be mistaken. Those little ones, they really, really do tally up. And that's another thing that I liked, is that during the end of the matches, it would be down to just you and these people, and then once the score comes up, there's a cat who declares the winner, and the percentages in the corner go up, and then they stop at exactly the same. And there's like a brief second before it shows you who the winner is. And usually, these matches are close. They're within like 3% of each other, so the matches have a lot of tension. I can see this game becoming, quite an adrenaline thing. You'll be playing it and you'll be like, oh god, we're gonna, this is a close match. And all the matches did feel close. I really did enjoy it. I can't say for certain that the full game will be a good representation of what we played tonight, because there's a lot more classes. Like, for the roller, for example, there's a heavy roller which covers more ground, which scares me to death, because I was covering a lot of ground with the one I was using, and there's like a sniper that has like a scope and stuff like that, and there's grenades. Well, grenades are in the beta version I played, actually. I didn't use them a lot, though. Didn't see a reason. But there's a lot of different variations for each weapon, and I can't wait to see how that will impact the game, going from the basic weapons that I was using to using all these other weapons. I don't think I've missed anything, but if I did, I'd be happy to address in the comment section. I do recommend that you try the full version of the game when it comes out. It's about 30 quid in the UK, and I'm assuming that's about $40. I'm not entirely certain. But please try it, give it a chance. It's a lot more fun and surprisingly fun for those people who may not thought it was that good to begin with. Like I said, don't take it as a PvP kind of thing where you have to kill everybody on the screen. It's more about filling the area, I think. And that's all it is. It's just a good light-hearted game of fun that doesn't feel punishing, or when you die that doesn't make you feel like angry like most other games do. Or you always feel like a credit to your team when I was playing. So please pick it up and buy it. And maybe I'll see you online. Okay, that's the end of this video. Remember to subscribe to the Milkiest channel here for the latest gameplay, commentary, reviews, and all that other stuff that people care about. This was my first impressions video that I've ever done, my first. So I apologize if I come off as a bit odd and I repeat things, but we'll see where I go in the future. Maybe I'll make it more scripted. Anyway, I'm off. Goodbye.